Hi everyone. I wanted to talk about the peace the world cannot give. So John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid." I admit many times in my life, peace felt impossible. I had lived a life with chaos, trauma, addiction, and pain. And I lived in survival mode for years. The fear, it was familiar. Shame felt like it had my name written on it. And my heart carried wounds I didn't know how to heal. The world was telling me peace came from control, escaping the pain, and trying to numb what I didn't want to feel. But that kind of peace, it never lasted because it was temporary, fragile, and it disappeared the moment life got hard again. Well, somewhere in the middle of my brokenness, God met me. And it wasn't when I had everything together in my life or that my life was perfect. Because truth is, I'm an imperfect person in seek of a perfect God. And God, He'll meet you right in the middle of it. I discovered the peace Jesus talks about is completely different than what the world actually offers for peace. The world says everything has to be going right for you to feel okay, right? But the peace Jesus says and talks about is even when everything around you is falling apart, you're not alone. And God began to heal parts of my life that I thought were once destroyed. Trauma that once defined me started turning into my testimony. And that shame that once silenced me became the very thing God used to help others find their voice. Today, I get to walk beside women who have lived through addiction, domestic violence, and human trafficking. And I get to remind them that their story doesn't end in darkness. The peace God gives is not the absence of struggle. It's the presence of Him in the middle of it. So yes, I still face hard days. I still walk through challenges. But today, my heart is different. Because I know the same God who carried me out of my darkest moments, He's still walking with me today. He gives me peace that cannot be taken away by circumstances, by my past, or by my fear. It is a peace that reminds me that my life is no longer defined by what I went through, but by what God has done through it. He gave His only Son so that we could be forgiven. So today, if your heart's feeling troubled, if your fear is feeling louder than hope, I want you to know something. The peace that Jesus offers is real. And if He can bring peace into a life like mine, He can bring it into yours too. So the girl who once used to live in fear is now living in peace. And it's not because my past disappeared. It's because Jesus Christ stepped in and rewrote my ending. I thought my life had been buried through everything I went through. But with what the enemy thought was going to be my grave, God turned into a garden. And that peace shows that God is still in the business of rising the dead. So I just want you all to know, if you're struggling and you're full of fear, anxiety, God's just waiting for you. Call on Him. He is so awesome. He will remove that anxiety and He will fill you with a peace that is undescribable. And I'm just praying for each and every one of you who may be struggling today, and that God just meets you right where you're at. And I hope you all have a blessed